certain way. Hi everybody, welcome to Happy Hour with Holly. A day late, $1 short, but hey, we're Tuesday instead of Monday. I'm gonna tag Annette in my video, and I'm here with Annette Presley. Her and I met at Fab. This is kind of a theme here. I met some amazing women at the Females Advancing Business Group. Thank you, Danita. Down in Colleyville, Texas. We do, we love it. And I'm really excited to have her here with me. I'm excited about it because, as most of you know, I am an independent consultant with Arbonne, and we are a plant-based, non-toxic company that has nutrition and skincare and makeup and all that. And I'm always excited to talk to somebody else who has that same passion behind them as far as making sure that people are living a healthy lifestyle. So Annette is a registered dietitian and
a functional nutritionist.
Oh, I'm so close.
And I'm licensed in the state of Texas.
Okay. And are you from Texas?
No, I am actually from California.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm a Cali girl. So
me too. Where are you from?
Pasadena.
Oh, I'm from Dana Point.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we've only lived here less than a year.
So we used to go to Laguna Beach all the time.
Oh yeah,
it's my favorite.
We got married in Laguna, in the canyon. Yeah, I know. I'll be there in a few weeks, people. My friends. Hi, Carla. So tell everybody what we were just kind of talking about. So you started as a registered dietitian. How long did you do that for?
So I've been a registered dietitian for about 27 years now. Okay. And about 14 years in, Amazon actually recommended this book called Know Your Fats by Dr. Enig.
Okay.
And she's a PhD biochemist. So anyway, she's an expert on fat. And so I read the book, and it contradicted everything I had been taught about fat. So we're kind of trained to, if anyone disagrees with the status quo advice, the training basically is you dismiss them as a quack or somehow discredit them and continue doing what you're doing. Well, I knew that she had been right about the trans fats. I think we've all heard about those. Yeah. So she actually, the reason we have food labeling for trans fats is because of her.
Really?
Yeah.
And you just found this book because it popped up as an Amazon?
Based on a previous purchase.
Okay.
Like, totally random.
All right.
I don't know. Somebody must have been looking out
for me. Meant to be.
So I read the book. I couldn't dismiss her as a quack. So I spent a year going through all of her resources or the research that she had done and looked up all kinds of other things and really discovered by the end of it that the only conclusion I could come to honestly was that she was right and I was wrong. And if I took an honest look at the science. So then I had a dilemma, and of course I was really angry because I got into this profession to help people, and now I pretty much had a license to kill. So, yikes.
No, yeah. So you're telling people basically what you've been trained through schooling, but now you've learned that
it was
not as healthy for you as
in fact it was contributing to chronic disease and obesity, and I'm even I live in Texas. I don't even own a gun, so like this was a huge deal for me. So
Jera, you're gonna have to help her out.
But so it wasn't fun. I was really angry, and I kind of for about 3 weeks I really decided I was done with nutrition.
Wow.
I was just done because what was the point? And then I felt like no, somebody needs to stay in there and tell the truth. So
and what capacity were you working in at that point? Were you just like independly?
Yeah, I was just independent. Yeah, at that point. So I knew I couldn't get a regular job at that point.
Okay.
So I know I was like really risking my livelihood here.
Okay.
But and I had kids at the time, so I was just kind of doing part-time consulting on my own at that time. But I had planned to go back to hospital work. And so I knew if I went with the truth, that would not be an option for me. But I decided, I really thought of it as a mother, because I had 2 kids and I was feeding my kids all the right stuff, and it turns out it wasn't that great. So And so I really felt for other mothers who were just trying to do the best they could for their kids, and they were following the advice and they didn't know. And I just felt like they deserved better, and the kids deserved better. So I decided to tell the truth, and so I started telling people to eat butter instead of margarine, and I got away with it for 3 years. Okay. So that was cool.
Yeah.
So right when
sad
I get
that you had to get away with telling
yeah.
people to eat butter instead of margarine.
Yes, it's very sad.
Yeah.
But so in about 2008, I get this giant letter in the mail. The local dietetic association, and I was living in Midland at the time, filed a complaint against me.
Wow.
So
somebody turned you in?
Yeah, I got turned in.
Okay.
Big time.
Wow.
So I responded, and they found me guilty, and
oh my God.
I know, it was just a crazy thing. Okay. Well, and what was really funny is all of their letters to me treated me like I was like a kindergartner or something. Okay. Like I just didn't know what I was doing. So they decided that I had been deceived by Dr. Enig.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because at some point you had said in your responses.
I read this book, I looked through all of her resources and came to the conclusion that she was right.
Okay.
And I told them at the end of my letter, like, if you can show me where I'm wrong in my assessment of the science, I will gladly change my views. Because I didn't really care what the truth was. I just wanted to know what it was.
Right. You just want to do the best thing for your family.
I can give
and
out good advice. So they asked me to write this paper on LDL cholesterol, the supposedly bad cholesterol, and explain why I was going to go back to recommending vegetable oils instead of animal fats.
Okay.
And I had already done the science. So
what year is this?
This is 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, so today I don't...
So things have changed a little bit.
Things have changed a little bit,
curious.
yeah. Okay. So we're, at least now I'm being vindicated. So...
For sure.
Finally.
Yeah.
But... Anyway, so I couldn't write that paper because I knew what the science had to say about all that. So instead I wrote a paper basically going through the science from the 1900s to the present time, explaining why we have no scientific support for our fear of saturated fat and cholesterol. And it was a darn good paper. I do say so. Is that
published anywhere? Can people read that?
Well, it actually is online.
Oh, okay.
It went viral. It was really weird because after everything was finished, it took a year. I started getting emails from doctors all over, dietitians, and I don't even know how they heard about it. So I went through the whole process by myself, and then
wow,
all of a sudden all these people came out of the woodwork. So it was kind of fun. But anyway, they didn't like my paper.
Oh. I thought they liked your paper.
Well, they were very disappointed in me. Oh. So, and they accused me of asking my own questions instead of relying on the questions that had already been asked and answered, which is not very scientific. But they couldn't refute my science, so they couldn't take away my credentials.
Okay.
But they did ask me to use a disclaimer when I talk about fat. So the advice I give out on fat is not sponsored, approved, recommended, or endorsed by the FDA, the USDA, the NIH, or the AMD, or really anyone else. And so you should consult with a physician before taking it.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was fun. So I put that on my website and all my handouts and told everybody.
Even now? Or?
I do it now sometimes just because it's funny.
Okay, yeah.
The usual response I get is, oh, good, then I want to hear what you have to say. So,
for sure.
It worked out great for me, but it is a little disturbing that the truth requires a disclaimer.
Yes,
it really is. And it kind of was an eye-opening experience about our whole healthcare system. And we all think it's very science-based and everything, but this really has more to do with politics than anything.
I was just listening to something on the radio the other day that was saying that there's a higher percentage now of people who really mistrust doctors and are going towards holistic because they feel like those people are more trustworthy than doctors.
And I don't really blame the doctors because they're just doing what they were taught to do, and they really risk a lot going against the grain. So they can much easier than I could lose their license.
Okay.
And so it's difficult for doctors to go against the grain.
Okay.
I mean, there's so much political power out there about that and money involved. And so I don't blame them so much, and they don't have time a lot.
Well, and like we were talking about a little bit earlier before we went live, doctors, people in general think that if the FDA approves something, then it must be okay. I mean, even doctors believe that. So,
yeah, and that is just not true at all.
Yeah.
So the FDA only requires 2 studies to approve anything. And so if a company has a drug coming out and they do 100 studies, and let's say 98 of the 100 studies show negative results, but 2 show a positive result, they can just present those 2. They don't even have to show them the other 98. So we really don't know what the science says about anything.
Yeah. Well, and even what I've learned going through my journey is that the FDA, and we talk about this a lot on my team, is they've only banned 30 ingredients from going into skincare, makeup, that sort of thing. And the European Union has banned over 1,400 products or ingredients. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's a huge...
What is wrong with us?
Yeah, 30 versus 1,400. I mean, that's crazy.
It is crazy. And that's the other thing, too, is we don't realize how toxic our world has become.
Yeah.
I mean, not just with food, but with the products you're putting on your skin, using in your yard, in your house for cleaning. And these things, they disrupt your hormones, they can cause allergies and asthma and just all kinds of things. And it's ridiculous that that the FDA is protecting the companies and not us.
Right. No, it's sad. I mean, and people don't realize when you're talking about your skin, I mean, your skin is your largest organ. Mm-hmm. Like, your skin is actually an organ. And when you think about what you're putting on it, and you're saying chemicals, that's one thing I learned from moving from California to Texas, is Texas doesn't have any real regulations surrounding what kind of chemicals can go into like your pest control, and you don't know what you're putting into the ground around you, which then can go into the groundwater.
And if your neighbors are spraying with glyphosate,
what is that?
That's
that
I know. It does. That's the herbicide that a lot of the GMO, the genetically modified organisms, are built around. To be resistant to it, so they can spray more of it. But it's been shown to cause cancer and a whole host of other problems. And
that's scary.
Yeah, and so it's actually in court right now. So several people, I know at least one person has won a case against them. So we're going to see more of that.
Yeah. So now, what are you doing now? Like, do you have a practice?
So I work online, so I can see anybody anywhere.
Okay.
And I decided to kind of niche down into helping women who are really having a hard time getting pregnant. Because I just, there's so many, it's growing. Like, so many couples cannot have children now. And a lot of it has to do with our toxic environment. We're eating the wrong foods, and our body systems are out of balance. And so what I do is I look at our body systems and find out where the imbalances are, and then I use food and supplements to target healing for those specific areas. And so...
Do you have much success surrounding that?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So
I had one client who she had been trying to get pregnant for about 2 years, and so I tweaked a few things in her diet and gave her a few supplements, and she was pregnant in 3 months.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so
it was so
works.
fulfilling to be able to.
Yeah, and I also spared someone from getting a hysterectomy.
Oh,
so
whoa!
Yeah,
that's huge.
It is. I know.
I mean, what kind of changes?
Just a few simple diet changes and a few supplements. Like, it does not take much.
Wow. And so how do you figure out, do you do blood tests on people, or how do you figure out?
Yeah, so I look at lab work, and then I have a lengthy questionnaire I have people fill out, so I can kind of get an idea of like what you've been exposed to, toxin-wise, the foods you're eating, and whether or not they're creating inflammation and all of that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And so a lot of what I do is I like to do everything really simple. So
I like that.
Yeah. So instead of like having you drastically change everything, I usually have you do little switches and change a few things at a time, so it's just easier to manage, and then it's sustainable too.
Right.
So yeah, you don't get there after 30 days and like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
You know.
Do you find that people end up maintaining what they learn from you mostly?
I think mostly. I think sometimes they probably get off and then they kind of, oh yeah, I need to get back.
Yeah.
And because you can tell when you start feeling crappy again.
Yes. Well, and it's amazing how when you do take the things out of your diet that make you feel better, that when you put them back in, you feel horrible. And
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience. Last night I went out with a couple friends and I
Uh-oh.
never eat dairy, and we had nachos, and oh my gosh, my stomach was hurting me all night. And I messaged my girlfriend. I was like, I had stomach ache all night. She said, me too. I'm like, yeah, it's because we don't eat dairy anymore. So, yes. I mean, it really, you take the weighted risk at that point. You're like, oh, I'm going to do that. So for people who live outside of the area, how do you get their lab work? And
So I actually have a platform called Practice Better, and so it's kind of like it's an online office.
Okay.
But it's HIPAA compliant, and they can upload all of their data and fill out my form, and so it's all online. So it's really kind of cool.
Okay. Well, and we'll post your website.
Yeah, AnnettePresley.com.
Oh, how easy is that?
I know. See, I told you I like simple.
Well, we'll do that because I think, I mean, anybody, obviously I preach this all the time. I have a 30-day detox program that we teach people to eat clean, and same, like anytime you can help people feel better, it's so rewarding. And especially if you can do it from anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
It's even better.
It does,
you don't need
and you
to
don't
be
have to
nearby.
brave the Dallas traffic or LA or
I
whatever.
know, I was like, and that doesn't seem like nothing compared to LA. So, well, I appreciate you so much for coming and driving. Annette drove.
I did. I drove in the
come
Dallas
see me.
area. Like,
How long did it take you to get
about
here?
an hour.
I know when you text me, so I'm new to the Dallas area, not like 9 or 10 months. So she says, I'm on my way from Arlington. And I'm like,
Where's
okay.
Arlington?
And I'm like, I wonder how far that is. I wonder how far that is in traffic. So I'm like Google mapping it. I'm like, okay, she's going to be a while. Like, poor thing. So I appreciate that. So if any other small businesses, I'm here to support you and help expose you to my growing network that I have. If you're interested in becoming a guest on Happy Hour with Holly, just send me a
and
message.
it's fun. You'll love it.
Oh,
So.
thank you. And it's so easy. It's
Yeah.
casual. I mean,
And it's totally worth the hour drive.
Oh my gosh, I gotta give her a drink, but she's just drinking water. So let's cheers. I have, excuse me, fizz in mine health.
That's just because I gotta get home
I
safely.
know. So thank you for coming.
I should have brought my chauffeur, but
Yeah,
you
next
know,
time.
Next
Uber.
time, yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks
Bye.
for watching.